Hospitality is sign of acceptance and protection. People away from their homes need food, shelter and protection. Hospitality is well practiced at the time of Abraham and later too. Abraham invited the three men to have their drink and wash their feet, and he prepares a lavish feast for them. On offering food to aliens, the Israelites are often reminded that they too were aliens in Egypt. Jesus speaks in today's Gospel about the virtue of hospitality. First and foremost, let us know what hospitality is. It is friendly and generous reception of guests, visitors or strangers. It also means taking care of your guests and anticipating their needs. As the Israelites were aliens in the foreign land, they practiced the spirit of hospitality. When they possessed the promised land, and as the time passed, they introduced hierarchical system where the poor, the sick, the crippled and the sinners had no place. Jesus begins to remind and teach his disciples as well as people for failing to care for the other. Both in the First and the Second Testaments, meals mean a lot. Meal is a sign of a blessing. When we offer meal to others, having eaten the meal, they bless us wholeheartedly. Even today, we do it when we celebrate our birthdays, anniversaries, wedding anniversaries, and special occasions. We find it in the book of Genesis, chapter 18, wherein we read, the three men promised Sarah that she would bear a son after having the meal. And Isaac blesses Jacob after having the meal. Meal is a sign of friendship. We read in the scriptures that Jesus was having meal with Matthew the tax collector. Meal is also a sign of acceptance of others. For instance, Jesus shares meal with Zacchaeus. Meal is a sign of joy too. The prodigal father celebrates and offers a feast at the coming of his younger son home. But later, the aspect of meal became as merrymaking and set apart for the rich. That we find in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 6, verse 21. The King Herod gave a banquet for his guests, namely his courtiers, officers, and the leaders of Galilee. Jesus is teaching his disciples at this point that meal is not eating and getting drunk, but a sharing of joy, love, concern towards others, meeting different people, making friendship, etc. So he tells the readers to invite the poor, the crippled, the lame and the blind, because such persons were explicitly forbidden to serve as priests and were barred from entering into the Qumran community. Let no person with any human impurity enter the assembly of God. The so-called poor were discriminated by their status. As a result, they were never invited for a meal. So Jesus wants to bring all as children of God by using the strategy of sharing meal with all sorts of people. The Last Supper would also mean the meal of friendship and communion with his disciples. The values of Jesus are different from the standards of the world. Choice is ours. Whom do we invite for the celebration of our family? If you want to be blessed by God, follow the values of Jesus, because God is ultimately the only one who can bless us and whose praise matters. Live Jesus.